Okay, so I told you I would go over this homework in a video. I went ahead and wrote down what we did in class on this first piece. Remember, we had to do the Pythagorean theorem so that we could find this third side. And we want to just set up the equation, or the fraction. That's what they mean by ratio. So I did it for R on all of them since we did that in class, and now we're going to do it for T on all of them. So if I come over here to T, this is still the hypotenuse. This is across from that, making it opposite. This is in between the angle T and the right angle. And then over here in between these is the adjacent. So I can come over here and do that for all of these. I have my equation sheet, which tells me that opposite over hypotenuse is sine, so O over H. Adjacent over hypotenuse is cosine. Here. So we've got 15 over 39. And then finally, tangent is opposite over adjacent. That's 36 over 39. Now on these bottom problems, I need to start by finding out whether it's sine, cosine, or tangent. Number 7, this is the hypotenuse. There's my angle. In between is A. So I have A and H. A and H is cosine. Right? 5 degrees go inside there. Adjacent over hypotenuse. Most people like cross multiplying because I can do the same thing every time. So 1 times x is x. 21 times cosine of 38. It's just written like that. And we'll put that in the calculator. It's 16.5. Number 8. No hypotenuse that time, so it has to be tangent. The opposite is across from here. The adjacent is in between it and the right angle. My angle is 23. Opposite over adjacent. You can cross multiply every single time. 1 times 25, x times tangent. I want to get rid of that, and it works just like any other number. Because remember, if I put that in the calculator, I get some really unending decimal probably. Next, number 9. Once again, I do not have an H, so I have to have tangent. Come over here, in between it and the right angle is adjacent. Across from that is opposite. My angle is 57. Opposite is x. Adjacent is 6. X times 1 is x. 6 times that is 6 tangent. And put that in the calculator. Number 10. I have a hypotenuse this time. It is x. I come to my angle. Adjacent is in between these. That is the one that I don't have. Cross that out. And I do have opposite, right? Opposite hypotenuse is sine. Angle 31. 19 over x. Opposite on top of hypotenuse, right? And we can cross multiply every time if that's what you like doing. I know I'm going through this kind of fast, but the videos only last 15 minutes, and I don't want to make you spend any more time than that, so you'll just have to rewatch it. It's going too fast. Okay. We're going to check. I have h this time. This is my angle, so we're going to end up doing inverse because that's x. This would be a. I don't have a. That would be o because it's across. So O and H we had just done, that was sine. Right? X is my angle, so it goes inside the parentheses. This is where I do inverse, because I'm finding the angle. When I want to do that, I hit sine twice, it gives me the inverse. And that is degrees. Number 12. I do not have a hypotenuse, so it has to be tangent. In between is adjacent, across from it is opposite. X is my angle. 37 over 8. I'm looking for the angle, so I did the inverse. Hit it twice. Number 13. Across my hypotenuse is h. In between the angle I have and the right angle is A. And I've already got the two I need, right? So why do the third one? This is going to be cosine. Once again, you can look at the formula sheet. X is the angle again. Inverse when I have angles. $53.7. Number 14. I have the hypotenuse. Come to my angle. This is one of those ones that's really hard to see. This is the adjacent, because this is that angle, right? So that makes this 4 down here the opposite. So I don't have adjacent, right? Opposite over hypotenuse is sine. X is still the angle. 4/19. Inverse, because I'm looking for the angle. Get, oh, sorry, there's a glare. 12.2. Okay, now we are down to the word problems. And I'm going to go ahead and draw them. For time's sake, I went ahead and drew these and brought the screen back up. But I'll walk you through how I drew them. The angle of elevation from a soccer ball, so this is always the angle at the bottom that's not the right angle. To goal is 34 degrees, so I stuck that inside there. If the goal is 8 feet tall, up and down, what's the distance from the ball to the goal? Let's go here. I don't have the hypotenuse, so this is going to be a right angle. Or, not a right angle. This is going to be tangent. Tangent of 34 is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, or opposite over adjacent. Sorry guys. Adjacent's in between these. That is opposite. Cross multiply. 8 times 1 is 8. Divide. Oh, and that is a word problem, so we gotta write feet, right? Next, Sarah sights the top of the Statue of Liberty at an angle of elevation of 61 degrees. We actually did this one in class, but I wanted to redraw it because that was the hard part for most people. I'm not gonna work it out. But remember, this was at the bottom, and this question was asking me to find the whole height. So this is actually going to be x because I've solved this triangle, and then I have to find the whole height by adding back her height. I did this one in all my classes as well, so I'm not going to do this one, but you also have to do this the same way. I do the triangle and then I subtract the 27 feet, right? And they told me the height of this and the height of that, so I only have to subtract heights and find the distance. A spectator is in the stands and spots a mascot in the field at an angle of depression of 46 degrees. So that is up here, which means it is also down here. The angle of, the spectator is 34 feet above the ground. That's obviously up and down, right? What is the horizontal distance between the spectator and the mascot? Horizontal goes back and forth like the horizon. So we need to decide sine, cosine, or tangent, and I do not have a hypotenuse, so that made my decision pretty easy. That is O. This is A. Cross multiply. Not big. What are we measuring? Feet. There you go. That is right. So good luck on the quiz.